Ethan Brooks ruled Roosevelt High like a king, his fists unchallenged, his swagger a law unto itself. But when he cornered Anna Carter, the new girl, in a packed hallway, the air crackled with defiance. "Think you can ignore my rules, city girl?" he sneered, his voice thick with scorn. Anna lifted her gaze, her hazel eyes calm but razor-sharp. "I'm not here for trouble, Ethan," she said, her words steady, slicing through the crowd's murmurs. "Don't push me." Silence gripped the hall, hissing with anticipation. In 5 minutes, Ethan would beg for mercy and Roosevelt would never be the same. Stay tuned, this story will grip you. Anna Carter slipped into Roosevelt High under Fairview's morning mist, her hoodie cloaking her like a shield. At 16, she carried a secret heavier than her worn backpack. A junior MMA champion from California, her fists forged in San Diego's gritty gyms. Her mother, Laura, a doctor at Fairview Hospital, had pleaded for a fresh start. "No fighting, Anna," she urged, her voice weary but firm. "Be ordinary." Anna nodded, her heart rebelling. She craved respect, not invisibility. As she navigated the crowded halls, her quiet steps belied the power in her hands. Trouble, she sensed, was already stalking her. The hallway hummed with whispers as she wove through Roosevelt's chaos, dodging the crowd's tide, her chestnut ponytail swaying. She kept her eyes low, blending into the crowd. But her mind replayed Laura's words echoed, "No fighting, Anna. Promise me." Back in San Diego, her strength had carved her name, but here she was a ghost. Yet Ethan Brooks's shadow loomed large, his crew's laughter cutting deep like a blade. She felt their gaze, predatory, testing. Her jaw clenched, her promise to Laura a chain around her instincts. Deep inside, a spark flickered, a defiance she would bury long. Something was coming, and she wouldn't stay silent long. Fairview's dawn cast a faint glow as Anna Carter approached Roosevelt High, her sneakers crunching on gravel. At 16, her life packed fit in a faded backpack, her past a secret she was told to lock away. In San Diego, she'd been unstoppable, a force, a junior MMA champion. Her left hook a legend in whispered in the ring. For years of sweat in gritty gyms had honed her into a weapon. But in this quiet Oregon town felt quiet. Her mother, Laura, demanded peace. "No more fighting, Anna," Laura had pleaded, her eyes pleading heavy from hospital shifts. "We're here to start over." Anna's heart agreed, but her heart churned with resistance. She pulled her hoodie tight, merging with the student tide. Her hands, tucked in hands' pockets, held power most couldn't fathom. She'd once cracked a sparring partner's ribs in training with one strike. Here as she stood, she was nobody, just the new girl. Yet, as she passed the school's towering trees oaks, she felt a quiet rebellion stirred within. Promises could bend. Anna wasn't naive, she knew places like Roosevelt High had its own rules, unspoken but rigid, ironclad. In San Diego, she'd earned respect by standing her ground with fists, silencing her challengers with one move. Fairview was felt smaller, its pine-scented air thick with judgment expectations. Laura's voice echoed rang in her mind, "No one needs to know your strength, what you can do." Anna wanted to be the daughter her mother needed, honor that, but as she stepped into her first class, slipping her eyes scanned the room, reading faces like an opponent's stance in the ring. Some students ignored, whispered, others ignored her, a few others glared with a challenge gleam in their eye. She sat quietly, her pencil tapping softly, her thoughts racing. A suspended suspension for fighting defending a friend at her old school in San Diego still haunted, stung, teaching her a lesson in control but also the cost of silence. As the bell's sharp ring snapped rang, sharp and jarring, pulling her back to reality. Stepping into the hall, she felt her spark flare brighter, defiance growing. Anna sat alone in Roosevelt's High cafeteria, the clatter of chatter and trays, clinking trays, wrapping around her like a dull roar. Her sandwich lay untouched, half-eaten, her eyes tracing fixed on the table's scratched scars, willing herself invisible. She'd sworn to Laura to keep her mother, Laura to avoid quiet, head down, to keep her fists still silent. But the air thickened, shifted, heavy with intent as footsteps approached, deliberate, unhurried. Ethan Brooks loomed large over her table, his broad frame shoulders casting a shadow. His crew grinning like wolves. "Hey, new girl," he drawled, his voice thick with mocking. "I'm Ethan Brooks. I run this is my school, my rules." Anna looked up, her hazel eyes steady, and said softly, "Nice to meet you. I'm Anna." Her calmness seemed to irk him. Ryan, wiry, laughed. Anna? From San Diego? What, you think you're too cool for Fairview? She took a slow breath, her fingers curling slightly under the table. I don't think that, she said, her voice even, slicing through their bravado. I just want to eat. Ethan leaned closer, his breath hot with confidence. Here's how it works. $5 a day for protection. $5 daily, you're from the big city, you get it, right? Anna's chest tightened, the familiar sting of aggression arrogance washing over her. In San Diego, she'd shut it down with one move, but her mother's plea echoed. No trouble, Anna. She pushed her chair back, standing to leave. I don't want problems, she said, her voice firm but quiet. Lucas, tall with a sly grin, stepped in her path, his hand grazing her arm-shoulder. We're not done talking, city girl, he said, his grip tightening just enough to test her. Anna's pulse quickened, not from fear but from the fiery spark she'd buried deep. What do you want? She asked, her voice carrying a steely edge they didn't catch. Ethan grinned, smirked, leaning back like a king on his throne. Respect. $5 daily, or things get messy for a lonely girl like you. Anna scanned their faces, Ethan's predatory certainty, Ryan's mocking sneer, Lucas's casual menace. She could end this now, one precise strike to Ethan's jaw, and he'd be on the floor. But Laura's plea held her back, a chain around her instincts. I'll think about it, she said slowly, finally, her words measured, buying time. Ethan's grin widened, smug. Good girl. You've got till tomorrow. He leaned closer, his voice low. And don't even think about snitching. My family owns this school. Dad funds the football team. As they swaggered off, their laughter rang echoed, sharp and cruel. Anna sat back down, her fists clenched, beneath nails biting into her palms. The cafeteria's noise roared back, students shouting, whispering. Trays clattering, but she barely heard it. Her mind raced, calculating. $5 a day was $150 a month, $1,000 a year. It wasn't just money. It was power, control, the kind of game that broke weaker kids she'd seen break. She could still feel Lucas's hand on her arm shoulder, Ethan's threat in her bones. In San Diego, she'd been disciplined for fighting back once, a mark that lingered followed her like a shadow. It taught her restraint, but also the cost of silence. Now, staring as she stared at her soggy sandwich, that lesson burned brighter. She wasn't just the new girl anymore. Something inside her was waking up, fierce and unyielding. And it wasn't going to stay quiet. In the dim school bathroom, Anna stood alone, scrubbing her stained hoodie, the faucet's steady drip echoing her frustration. Ethan's voice cruelty, his mocking sneer, tore at her promise to Laura, gnawed at her. Her hands shook, trembled, not from fear, but caged from bottled fury. Alone, with buzzing fluorescent lights overhead, she dialed, pulled out her phone, her thumb shaking over Coach Lee. She needed answers, guidance, a tether to her buried strength she'd buried. Dialing, her sneakers squeaked on the tiled floor. Master Lee, she said, her voice tight but urgent. Ethan's pushing me, she said, spilling it all. Ethan recounted the cafeteria's threat. The $5 a day, Lucas's assault hand. I could have stopped him. In San Diego, I'd have ended it. But Mom, Lee's reply voice was steady rock. Anna, hiding who you are weakens you, Anna. Those boys respect only power, strength. Act, but be smart, no witnesses, no real harm. Her reflection in the cracked mirror showed eyes alight with resolve flickered. A suspension in San Diego for defending a friend had scarred, stung, teaching restraint her control, but also silence's danger of silence. I know what to do, she said, told Lee, her voice firm, hardening. Hanging up, she leaned against on the cold sink, the cold grounding her. Ethan saw thought prey. He was wrong. Anna Carter was done hiding, her fire blazing, now blazing, undeniable. The sun bled orange over Fairview's Roosevelt parking lot as Anna Carter faced Ethan Brooks, alone. Her hoodie was gone, discarded, her stance loose but ready, lethal. Ethan emerged, tossing his gear aside, his smirk wide. Back for more, city girl, he taunted. His 6'3" frame looming over her 5'2" frame. We settle this, Anna said, her voice steady steel, cutting the haze through the evening haze. One-on-one, now. One-on-one. You win. I pay $10 a daily, obey you say. I win, you apologize to all publicly in front of the school. Ethan's laugh roared. You? Fight me? I'm 300 pounds of muscle. I bench 300. Anna's eyes didn't blink, nodded. No rules. He lunged, his fist arcing toward her face, a blur with crushing force. Anna moved fluid, sidestepping a half-step left, dodging, letting his punch sail past. Her right forearm slammed up, parrying, deflecting his arm blow with surgical precision. Before he could blink, recover, her left fist slammed into, drove his solar plexus, a piston driving into his gut. Ethan gasped, air fleeing, collapsing, eyes wide with shock as he doubled over, clutching his chest gut. His knees hit the pavement, a thud echoing in the silence. What? How? He croaked, his voice a broken wheeze. Anna stood tall over, her breathing steady, her face calm. First rule of fighting, she said softly, never underestimate your opponent. Crouching, she met his gaze, eyes unflinching. I'm a junior MMA champion, Ethan. 4 years, 23 fights, 21 wins. That punch was just a tenth of my power. He shook, eyes wide, gasped, horror dawning. You box? He stammered. Not boxing, mixed martial arts, she said, corrected, her voice low but firm. I came here to be quiet, live quietly, not to hurt anyone, scare anyone. But you didn't give me a choice. She stood, stepping back. Keep your word, Ethan. Apologize tomorrow, or I'll show the school what I can do on video with witnesses. He nodded, broken, trembling, his world shattered, upended. Anna picked up her jacket, her movements deliberate, and walked away, leaving him kneeling in the fading light. The lot was silent, but Ethan Brooks, Roosevelt's king, had fallen. The next morning after the parking lot showdown, Roosevelt High buzzed with restless energy like a storm brewing about to break. Whispers slithered, snaked through the halls, students stealing glances at Anna Carter as she walked to her locker. Her steps quiet but firm, steady. Her plain hoodie hung loose, her chestnut ponytail swaying, but her eyes carried a new weight, calm resolve that silenced others' pause. Ethan's defeat had spread like wildfire, whispered in classes, texted in group chats. The untouchable bully, humbled, brought low by the new girl. No one knew the truth details, but the legend story grew. By first period, Ethan Brooks appeared, his swagger dimmed, shoulders hunched. The crowd parted, murmurs fading silent as he approached her. Anna. She stood by her locker, her face expression unreadable, hands relaxed. Ethan stopped, jaw tight, his voice low but clear. Anna, I'm sorry, he said, the words heavy, sincere. What I did in the cafeteria was wrong. I was a jerk. The hall froze, students gaping, phones discreetly recording. Anna met his eyes gaze, her hazel eyes steady but kind. Thank you, Ethan, she said softly. I accept your apology. No gloating, no triumph, just a quiet nod, closing a chapter. Ethan walked away, head low, and the crowd erupted in hushed whispers, excitement. Anna didn't linger, she slipped into class. Her heart steady but her mind racing. She'd kept her promise to Laura, her mother, Laura, to avoid trouble, but a trouble had found her. Now the school saw her anew, not just the new girl, but a force who'd shifted the air. That afternoon, Anna lingered in the gym, sneakers echoing on the polished floor. She'd pitched a self-defense class, approached the wrestling coach, Ms. Harper, with a quiet request, a space to teach self-defense. I want to help others stand up, Anna said, her voice earnest. Harper, Ms. Harper, no nonsense, with sharp eyes, nodded. You've got guts, Carter. Let's do it. Soon by the next week, Anna's self-defense class began in the gym's corner, a small group of students gathered on worn mats. She stood before them, posture relaxed but commanding. Her voice clear. It's not about fighting, she said, her words deliberate. It's about control, knowing your strength and when to use it. She taught them to stand, to block, to break a grip. Girls who'd once cowered, heads bowed, now squared their shoulders. Even a few boys joined, their skepticism fading as Anna showed a crisp wrist lock. The school began to shift, changed. Ethan and his crew, Ryan, Lucas, kept their distance, their menace replaced by uneasy respect. Ethan's glance now warned silenced younger bullies as if he'd learned something deeper than defeat. Anna's classes grew, her quiet courage rippling outward, reshaping Roosevelt's culture halls. She wasn't just teaching moves. She was teaching confidence, the kind she'd fought to reclaim, keep hidden. As and she watched her students practice, their faces alight lit with determination, Anna felt her spark burn brighter. She was no longer hiding. The late afternoon air at Fairview's bus stop carried a chill as thick as its bone deep. Anna Carter sat, book on a bench, but her eyes locked on the street. Lily Evans. A shy junior with nervous eyes had begged her for help. Travis Miller and his Lincoln High crew harassed her and 3 other girls daily at the bus stop every day. They're led by Travis. Lily whispered, trembling, her voice trembling. He grabs us. Anna's jaw tightened, her promise to protect them now a fire that burned steady. I'll be there, she'd vowed, she'd promised. Her voice unwavering, steady. Now, as dusk fell, Anna waited. The girls arrived, huddled nervously nearby a few feet away, their glances darting between her and the road. Then came the heavy tread, Travis and 4 boots. Travis' friends swaggered in, their athletic gear like armor, their laughs loud and cruel. Travis, towering tall with a neck tattoo, zeroed in on Lily. Missed me, princess, he sneered, leering, his voice dripping with mock charm. Lily shrank, friends frozen. Travis reached for her cheek. Don't be shy, he taunted, his hand hovering near her. Anna closed her book, the thud cutting through the tension. Leave, she said, standing, her voice ice cold, unshakenable. You're blocking the bus stop. Move. Travis turned, smirking her sneer. Who's this wannabe, he scoffed. Some wannabe hero? Anna stepped closer forward, her 5 feet 2 inches frame small, dwarfed by his bulk, but her gaze a blade, cold, fearless. They're my these friends, she said. They don't want to talk to you. He laughed, his crew friends echoing, their voices mocking a chorus. Stay out, little girl, he growled, or you'll regret it. Anna's lips curved faintly, not a smile, but a signal. What'll you do? Her voice calm, daring. His friend, stocky brunette with gold teeth, grabbed her shoulder. That was his mistake. Anna's elbow cracked back, striking his stomach gut, dropping him gasping to his knees, gasping. Travis froze, his bravado cracking. Anna turned to him, eyes locked on his. You've got 1 minute to leave, she said, her voice low, final. Travis roared, swinging, lunged with a wild swing. Anna dodged faster, sidestepping, her fist slamming into his liver. He crumpled, doubled, gasping over, pain twisting his face. Then her knee smashed, cracked his nose. Blood with a sickening streamed crunch. He collapsed, bloodied, groaning. Who's next? Anna's voice was calm, her stance unshaken. No one moved. Take him and go, she said, nodding at Travis, still writhing. And don't come back. The boys fled, dragging Travis away, his moans fading into the dusk. Lily and her friends rushed to Anna, their eyes wide with awe. You're incredible, Lily gasped, whispered. Anna shrugged, her face softening, her voice gentle but firm. There won't bother you again, Anna said gently, her voice firm. As the bus's headlights pierced the twilight, Anna stood apart, her heart steady. Her purpose clear, burning brighter, she was a shield. The courtroom in Fairview was cold, quiet, every sound a cough, a rustle, sharp, a piercing. Anna Carter sat on the witness stand, hands folded, her hazel eyes steady despite the weight of the room. Travis's family had dragged her here, their lawyer accusing her of assault, provoked violence. Ms. Carter, he sneered, his voice sharp. You claim a 5 feet 2 inches girl claims acted in self-defense against a 6 feet 1 inch athlete? Anna's voice was clear, steady. I didn't start it, fight. Travis harassed my friends. I stopped him. The lawyer pounced, smirked, leaning in. You're an MMA champion, right? Suspended, and you've been disciplined before for fighting, haven't you? Breaking suspended for breaking a classmate's rib? Murmurs rippled, the crowd's eyes narrowing. Anna's chest tightened, that old suspension, a defense fight to protect a friend, burning, flaring like a wound. Yes, she said, admitted. Her voice unwavering, steady. I was 15, defending a friend someone bullied. I learned control from that. At the bus stop, I used minimal force possible to stop Travis. The lawyer scoffed. But Anna held firm, didn't waver. He grabbed Lily's arm, threatened her. I protected my acted to protect friends, nothing more. Lily testified next, her voice trembling but firm. Anna saved us, she said, her eyes shining, glistening. Travis wouldn't stop. He'd harassed us for weeks. Anna told him to leave. He didn't want to fight. She swung first. 2 other girls and echoed her. Their stories aligned, their gratitude clear, for Anna unmistakable. A bus driver, grizzled with a notepad, spoke too, his voice gruff. I saw it, the Miller kid was the aggressor. The girl did just what she had to. The courtroom fell silent as the judge, stern with gray streaks in her hair, reviewed the evidence. Anna sat, hands still, heart pounding, but her face composed. She'd kept her promise to her mother to avoid trouble, but it kept finding her. The judge's gavel cracked, sharp and final. Anna Carter acted in self-defense and defense of others. Case dismissed. Relief washed over the room, whispers of relief spreading. Anna's shoulders eased, but she didn't smile, she didn't need to. The truth had spoken for her. As she stepped down, Lily squeezed her hand, her eyes bright with gratitude. Outside, the Fairview's sun was high, its warmth cutting through the morning chill. Anna's mother, Laura, waited, her face a mix of pride and worry. "You did the right thing, Laura," she said softly, hugging her into a hug. Anna nodded, her voice quiet. "I just wanted to keep them safe." The courtroom doors closed, but her strength lingered. The weight of what she'd done shone stronger. Fairview's town square glowed under a late summer sun, its golden light bathing the crowd cheering as gathered for the community awards. Anna Carter stood on a small stage, her plain t-shirt and jeans plain against stark contrast to the polished officials around her. The mayor, a wiry man with a warm smile, pinned her a medal to her chest, its weight solid, real. "For courage and service," he said, announced, his voice carrying over the applause. Anna nodded, cheeks flushed, but her gaze stayed steady, her hazel eyes gleaming, reflecting gratitude, not pride. "Thank you," she said softly, her words simple, sincere. "I just did what's felt right." The crowd roared, cheered, their claps a steady rhythm, but whispers of her story, her fights, her classes hummed beneath it. She'd changed Roosevelt High, turned bullies into bystanders, and taught kids to stand tall. Yet, as she stepped off the stage, a man in a sleek suit approached, his card reading MMA Talent Scout. "Anna," he said, his voice smooth, "you're a champion. Go join the pro circuit, you could go national." Anna paused, fingers brushing the metal. "I appreciate it that," she said, her tone polite but firm. "But I'm needed here." His eyebrows rose, shot up. "You're passing up fame? Money?" She nodded, eyes clear. "There's more to strength than fighting than winning fights. I want to help kids like me find theirs, teach them to be strong without harm hurting anyone." The scout side frowned, muttering about wasted potential as he walked away. Whispers spread. Some called her noble choice noble, others foolish, said arguing she lacked ambition. Anna didn't flinch, care. She'd learned in San Diego real strength power wasn't in trophies but in lifting others up. Her self-defense classes had swelled, grown, filling the gym with eager faces, kids who'd once flinched, cowered, now standing tall. Even Ethan Brooks, of all people, now nodded to her in the halls now. His old arrogance softened. As Anna walked through the crowd, Lily Evans ran up, beaming, her smile bright. "You're a hero, Anna," she said, her voice thick with awe. Anna laughed, shook her head, her laugh soft. "I'm just Anna. We all have strength inside us." The sun sank lower, casting long shadows, and Anna felt a quiet certainty settle in her heart chest. She'd chosen Fairview over fame, community over glory, a legacy that would last. The debate raged on, noble or naive, but Anna knew her truth. She was building something bigger than herself, something that would outlast any ring. 10 years later, Fairview's golden light still bathed the town, but Anna Carter's world had grown. At 26, she stood in the heart of her youth leadership center. A modest brick building buzzing, filled with kids' laughter, of kids learning to stand tall. Her chestnut hair now was shorter, now cropped, her hazel eyes softer but fierce, no less determined. She moved among her students, her voice steady as she taught them to block a strike, to find their voice, to own their power. "Strength isn't just in your fists," she said, her words clear, resonant, cutting through the air. "It's in knowing who you are and standing up for what's right." The kids listened, their faces alight, bright with purpose. Some like echoing the shy girl Anna had been at 16 years ago. Her center wasn't just a gym. It was a lighthouse beacon, drawing in teens who'd once felt powerless, teaching them to lead, to protect, to rise. She transformed. Roosevelt High had changed because of her. Bullying faded, replaced by a quiet respect that pulsed in through its halls. Anna's self-defense classes had spread, her story igniting, sparking a movement network of young leaders across Oregon. She paused by a window, sunlight warming her face, and thought of Laura, her mother, Laura, who now smiled proudly, beamed at her work. The medal from Fairview's town square still hung on the wall, a quiet reminder of her choice, to stay, to build, to lift others up. Some still questioned, debated her choice, calling her MMA refusal of MMA a waste circuit a failure, but Anna saw the truth in her students' eyes. She traded fame for impact, a ring for a legacy. And it was worth every whisper. Her past, the fights, the trial courtroom, her choices, they'd forged her into this. A woman who'd turned her power strength into a shield for others. Live true, she urged, told her students, her voice soft but firm. Protect the weak. Build something bigger than yourself. As their laughter rose, they practiced. Anna's spark burned bright, a fire that would never fade. Her story wasn't just hers, it was theirs, and it lived on. It was spreading. You can carry it that, too. Join us, share your story, and let's make the world stronger together.